Hello, my name is Voodoo Val, and I'm kicking off the first stream of the day today with some Adobe Express goodness. Today we're going to be doing a animation within Adobe Express, but we are going to be working a little bit in Photoshop because we're going to create some cool, unique assets and things that we can use to design our own, like, reel, short, or TikTok intro, something that can play at the very beginning of a video for the spooky holiday season, and I'm pretty excited. I see so many familiar faces in the chat already this morning. I see Carol, I see Greg, I see Robert, RB, it's good to see you. Welcome in Wade, holding it down in the chat for us. Marcy, welcome in, and Nabil as well. Thank you guys so much for jumping in this morning. So I'm gonna pop over to Photoshop real quick, and we're going to get jamming on this and see what we can create. So I've just got like a PSD open called Spooky Intro, and what we're gonna do is kind of plan out what this intro could be like. Now this could be something that is a little bit longer form, you know, maybe it could be, I feel like a majority of what I do animation wise is like animated promos that are just the animation. Like its purpose is not really to head up or outro a video, which is what I want to do now. So really the video only has to be like a few seconds long. Maybe we'll do like 10 seconds so that we have like a bigger chunk of like animation work to do, and then you guys can decide if you want to follow along how long you want yours to be. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out, as I usually do with these sorts of things, is I want to do a sketch. So it's kind of like storyboarded out. And what I'm going to do is I'm just holding shift to make straight lines in Photoshop. And I'm going to do like a little frame here. And we're going to do some storyboard moments here, that we can just kind of plan out how this is actually going to work. I'm gonna merge those. Ooh, I didn't mean to merge that much. There we go. And I'm just gonna center those right there, and then I'm going to Control J or Command J if you're working on a Mac and duplicate that, merge it, and then we'll center that. Okay. So I've got like these little things. So now what I thought would be really, really cool is if we had some kind of like Looney Tunes tunnel. I kind of wanted it to be like cartoony, right? So if we had some sort of like tunnel thing happening, what we could do is create these layers of like solid backgrounds with shapes cut out of it. That could be like this, that would like sort of like appear and like tunnel down at the viewer, or tunnel out into the distance, which I'm pretty sure we can do in an interesting way with a lot of the Express animation features. And I was thinking it could be cool to have them in like strange shapes, you know, because we want this to be like Halloween themed. So if it was like something like this, where it was like kind of like spooky, jaggedy kind of shapes, think like the Nightmare Before Christmas, you know, something like this, then that could be really, really neat, and we can just have them like sort of appear. And I was thinking, yeah, like a vortex, right? And so it could appear, and then we could have that like undulation of animation, because they're all going to appear at a different time. So if we put the undulation or the breathe, maybe breathe is a good way to do it, because that would be the Adobe Express equivalent, then they could all just go pew, tunnel down, and then just kind of do this thing, you know, and then as it's doing that background motion, then we can start putting like text over the top. Now this is going to be a intro of sorts. It could be an outro, intro, outro, whatever it is that you want to do. I'm also going to really quick just layer via cut, because I don't want that on that background layer. The next one would be you know, where we start putting some information. I am going to leave some notes for myself. I'm going to turn this on like a slightly lower opacity. And I'm actually going to say with my text, this is like, we're like storyboarding like we are concept artists today. Honestly, I highly recommend approaching animation in this way. I think that like if you folks have watched an animation stream of mine, or like even a graphic design stream of mine in the past, I love to sketch because I'm an illustrator, and so I kind of employ a lot of those things in my graphic design or animation process, and I think it's really helped me over the years, especially if you're like kind of new into this sort of thing. Sketching out what you'd like to design graphically is a great way to go, especially if you feel a little bit overwhelmed coming into the process with like placing polished elements onto the canvas, because as you start to combine elements right off the bat, they might look better together in theory rather than practice, and that can maybe make you feel a little less enthused about your project. But concepting a project like this out first really helps. Okay, so I'm gonna say, I think that's how you spell appear, like vortex. Just a little note, appear like a vortex, breathe effect, breathe. Does breathe have an E at the end? Maybe, I don't know, I couldn't tell you. Breathe effect, loop, like it's gonna be on a loop. So this, you know, that'll be on a loop. And you can't, I guess you can't really see that unless we do something like this. Let me make my background gray just so that the visibility on this is a little easier. Yeah, there we go. And then I'm going to actually change this to white. Yeah, a little bit more visible. Okay, so we have our, you know, our notes. We're gonna have this appear like a vortex. It's gonna have a breathe effect. It'll loop, so it'll be like undulating in the background. And then we have to decide for ourselves, like, what is important for a video intro to have. And I think that something that I always like to make sure that I have in a video intro, I'm actually going to take this down to a lower opacity because there's going to be some more notes in here that we need to be more visible. What I like to do is make sure, first of all, that I have my social media handles and things. That's really important. Also, welcome in Oliver. It's good to see you. Bliss, good morning. Good morning. I see Marsha and I see Reverb Mike, Paul Weaver, George, Carol, Annika, hello. Where's the spooky outfit, Val? I know. There will be a spooky outfit later on in the month. I don't know if you guys have checked out my show with Cody Bear called Juxtapaint, but we actually have an episode that lands on Halloween Day this month. So if you guys show up on Halloween Day, I might be painted purple. I could be. Voodoo Val could be doused in the color purple. I'm not going to give any more details than that. I feel like that's believable enough. So if you do want Voodoo Val spooky costumes, you know, come hang out with us then. Doctor Who, welcome in. Good to see you, Doctor. Percy McCoy, welcome in as well. So I like to make sure that I have, like, maybe the title, like this could be, if this is going to be an intro, then you can take the opportunity here to make this like a template within Express that you can use for future stuff. I'm doing a spooky one, obviously, but you could do a general branding identity one with your personal branding or branding for a client that is editable or remixable, and then you can edit the title later. So I would say important to have the title. We want to have the title kind of appear, and I've been doing like this weird little asterisk sign in my sketches when I want it to, like, that's, to me in my brain, that's the title isn't just there, the title needs to burst into existence. So we're gonna have like that title burst there. We could also another arrangement that could be interesting is we could move this title down. we could have that title appear after maybe my photo appears, you know, like this is, you know, this is me. Or it could be like a sample of the subject matter. Maybe this is a spooky tutorial, and so you want to show like a preview peek of like, you know, the illustration, and we definitely want that to kind of burst into existence. So it'll go boom, boom, and then maybe the picture, maybe animation, like resting looping animation at this stage would be a little much, you know. Maybe we don't want to go that far, but then we definitely want to put social handles. You know, we definitely want to do this business right here. So we'll have the social handles kind of pop in. And then maybe I have a logo that's just like a stylized V. That's pretty simple. Almost like a Roman numeral. It just looks very occult and witchy. So I could have my logo pop up. I don't know. Maybe the logo is here. Depending on what your logo looks like, your logo could be that focal point right there. And we'll leave some notes for ourselves. So we want like an icon or image of some sort to kind of pop in. That could be interesting. This is going to be a second burst in though. So I'm going to put that note for myself. Like I want it to like the icon and then the title. And then don't forget, I want to do Instagram. And I want to do website. I just put www just for my own notes because that's typically what I like to share. Another thing is that the title or image could come second. So we could have, you know, the title pop in, and then the second slide here, which we can, let's duplicate this and throw this here. So it could be like the vortex spirals in, the title comes up, and then maybe the title bumps down after that. I don't know if we could do that though. We could, actually we could. We can do this with multiple scenes in Express. So yes, we will do that. So in a second scene, that's what we'll do. I am going to cut this out. How many people, show of hands in the chat, I'm curious. Show of hands, how many people, when you are illustrating in or animating in Adobe Express, how many of you are using more than one scene for that animation? We can have like the title come in and then breathe. Well, I guess we don't have to do multiple scenes for that, but we could. We could still do multiple scenes. But yeah, I'd be curious to know, because typically my own animations in Express are only one scene. That's all I'm doing really. But I want to get into doing more scenes, because the more scenes you have, the more flexibility you have with what you can really do. So we'll have the title come in, and then what would be really cool is we could do a wipe. We could do a wipe animation. So we can have like more texture come in and like wipe across. And then change scene and have, we could do like the vortex again in a different color if we wanted to, and have that wipe kind of continue on to reveal a like, stay tuned, you know, some kind of little blurb. Okay, so that's my little storyboard there of my concept, and I like that pretty well, but we need to now make our assets. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hide this because I feel like I've got it pretty much solidified in my brain now. And what I'm gonna do is show how to do like a really easy kind of prep for that vortex, because the vortex images, like the different layers, need to be separate assets, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come in with a polygon tool. And I'm going to add more sides. Let's do like 6 sides. Not 4 sides. That's not here. Let me. Not that either. Let's say 6 sides. And then what I'm going to do is let's turn this to a color. Maybe here. We'll turn this to a color. Let's turn this to like a weird color. Okay. And then let's see if I can just free transform this and do a distort. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to center this and I'm going to distort this color, sort of. So that's going to be good enough there. And then, that's not what I wanted to do. I pressed no when I meant yes. I'm sure everybody does that though. Okay, so that's going to be our center. Let's say yes. And then I'm going to duplicate this. Duplicate and grab this one underneath. And I am going to attempt to do like the same sort of thing. Let's go ahead and let's not duplicate it. Let's make another polygon. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to start making these shapes and then masking that shape out of background layers to give it, you know, some more oomph. Okay, let's do free transform, Control or Command T, distort, and I'm gonna make this one kind of longish right there because I wanted, you know, I want to get that like weird kind of jagged vibe for this. There we go. Yes. And then let's do another one. And let's change the fill color just to something else. Something different just so that I can see them. The color honestly does not matter right now. Definitely not. Let's do like 7 for this one. I just need it to be different every time. Control T, distort. Let's go ahead and bring this one sideways like so. Okay. Okay. And then I'm thinking maybe one more. Okay. Let's grab another strange color. Just so that just for visibility's sake, you know. And let's do this one as a 11. 11 sides. Basically is what I'm doing there is I'm just adding more sides to it so that I can give it kind of its own vibe here. Honestly, this might do it like kind of hanging off the edges. And now I'm gonna make the main layers. So let's change this to a slightly different color too. Can I do that for this shape? I don't know. Yeah, we can. Okay. So now we have like more sides. Yes, I can see the Kylo Ren more gif right now. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything. Polygonal math, TIE Fighter wing. I'm calling it now. You know what? You're not wrong. It does look very much like a TIE Fighter wing. Does she only import the vortex? Honestly, all of the spooky Halloween puns in the chat right now. If there ever was an appropriate time where it's all allowed, it's right now. Welcome in Alejandro, Frank, it's good to see you. Biola, hello, hello. Who else am I missing? Am I missing anybody? Did I miss anyone? Z. General Kenobi, hello there. Silent green is purple. Silent green is wrong P word, I think. Okay. So now that I have this, I want to create the main assets. So I've made this like these choppy colors that are like vortex colors, but actually my goal is not to use these assets. I'm going to use these shapes that I've laid out to mask chunks out of solid backgrounds. So this is how we're going to do that. I've got these 4 here, and I am going to start a group because this is going to be separate. I'm going to crank this up a little bit. There we go. And what I'm going to do is paint bucket in. Let's paint bucket in a purple. Surprise, surprise. Let's paint bucket in a purple. And then I'm going to hold control and I'm going to tap that polygon, right? And then I'm going to come here and I'm going to mask. Ooh, I'm actually going to select inverse first before I do that. Select inverse and mask. So now I have, you know, let's group all these so they're all separate. Now I have the outside ring. That's what I want. I don't want the circular shape on the inside. I want the outside to create the vortex. So hopefully if you didn't get what I was going to go for before, you can see it now. Let's do like a slightly darker purple. Control Shift in or Command Shift in if you're working on a Mac to create a new layer. Let me grab my paint bucket. Let's paint bucket that in. And let's go ahead and select, hold Control or Command to select the layer icon, just to select whatever's on that layer. And then we will come over here and say select inverse, and then we will mask, and we will hide that. And we're gonna put this underneath. So now we're starting to make like this purple tunnel, yeah? And then let's do another one. Let's make sure this is in the group. Let's do a slightly darker purple. I love it. Let's go ahead and paint bucket that in. We're gonna hold Control or Command and select this next shape. We're going to snag a selection tool so that we can do select inverse. With a click, we are going to hit mask and we are going to hide that. Hopefully. Did that work? Did I select the wrong thing? No, I didn't. Okay. I don't know why I turned into an elderly woman there when I was worried, but sometimes when I mess up design stuff, it scares the youth out of me, and there's nothing I can do. Nothing I can do about that. Okay, let's do a slightly darker purple. This is a, I guess this is kind of a tedious, kind of a tedious process, but, it's slow going, but I think that the rewards pay off. Let's go ahead and mask that. Boom. And then let's just paint bucket a solid background. Solid dark purple background right here. And now we have a tunnel. So it's like this vortex, and we'll make the shapes breathe like we wanted to. I would love to add some textures in here as well, though. I don't know if we want it to be like flat color. How are we doing on time? Because I might, oh, we still have like a half hour. We're fine. We're fine. Yeah, let's add some nice textures. Scares the youth out of you. Yeah, it happens. Yell, Anakin. Yell, or I called you Anakin? I called Annika Anakin? Ah! Oh my gosh, I'm calling you Anakin all the time now. I'm going to call you Anakin always. I'm so sorry why did I never think of that? We've been making like Star Wars names for each other for so long, and it never once crossed my mind that you should be Anakin. Okay. You were the chosen one. Anakin. But I'm here for it. Okay. You're not the first one, Val. I should have been. I should have been, though. Okay? I should have been the first one. Alright, so we've got our vortex pieces. I'm just gonna go ahead and hide all of that. I just double-clicked. All my windows come up on my other monitor because I was using Photoshop on my other monitor previously, so I have to, if you're wondering why I'm dragging windows that I open from another location, that would be why. Let's call this vortex, so I know that this is the one that has all of my main vortex stuff, and we're gonna go ahead and put that on top. Okay, let's go ahead and do some textures. Now I'm gonna use generative fill for textures, and the reason why I'm gonna do that is because it allows me to kind of create my own little assets and things that I need within Photoshop, which I find very, very helpful. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to Window, and we're gonna go to Contextual Taskbar. And I am going to select, say, generative fill, and I'd like to generate, what's a good texture? Like, thick parchment paper cardboard texture, I think would be good. Thick cardboard paper parchment texture. Let's see. And then I'm going to kind of overlay a lot of it within the piece. Is that like it's in my other purse? Yeah. Okay. 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 All right. I like these. Let's go ahead and generate again because I'm gonna need 5, I believe. Fascinating. Yes. Look at the grain on this cardboard, folks. You saw it here first. I also don't know why I'm from the 50s now. I don't know. I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Okay. This one is pretty good. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. This one's pretty good. I don't even know if I spelled parchment right. I'm gonna delete parchment. I don't know if we need parchment for that. Pumpkin rind texture. That's actually really a great idea. I don't know if it would give us like an accurate pumpkin rind. Like if I wanted to make my own textures though, that's definitely a great texture that I would go for. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So I've generated some textures here that I can use for this pretty easily. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna duplicate that generative layer, and I'm gonna select one that I did really like. I think I really liked this one. Yeah, I did really like that one. And I am just going to rasterize it and delete the layer mask. Ooh, not disabled, delete it. Delete layer mask. So now it's kind of its own image. I also want to duplicate this one again, and we will switch to another one that I like this one, and I am going to rasterize that one as well and delete the layer mask. So now I'm just kind of creating like a series of textures that we can overlay. I need 3 more. So we'll snag maybe this one. We're gonna duplicate that and rasterize, delete layer mask. I guess we could also convert them to smart objects, but here's the thing with that, is that I am going to be importing this PSD, like the whole Photoshop document, into Adobe Express pretty shortly here. And if I do that, where it's a smart object, it's going to take a very, very, very long time to upload it to Express, and I'm not 100% certain if maybe Annika would know. Anakin, does can you import like a smart object heavy Photoshop file into Adobe Express? I didn't think so, but with the new update, that may be possible because there's new goodies in Express right now. Let's go ahead and rasterize, but I don't think so. And if it is possible, it'll take longer than just having rasterized layers and minimal layers in the file. So. Candy floss texture, that could be okay. All right. Time travel can come upon you at the most inappropriate time. That's, you know what? Time travel happens to me unexpectedly all the time. I don't know about you all in the chat, but I'm really glad that you pointed that out, man, because I was starting to think I was the only one. Okay, the last one's going to be this one. I like this one. but yeah, I don't believe that you can do smart objects. So we are just rasterizing everything to make it easier on us. And I am going to throw this right there, and then I'm going to hold control and unselect that and just move my layers through the group like so. So now I have a texture. Let me kind of bump myself over to the other side. Now I have a texture layer in between all of my vortex layers, and I am just going to convert them, or create a clipping mask for all of them. Maybe I should unhide. Maybe I should unhide this. Let's make this a clipping mask as well. Create clipping mask. Create clipping mask. Ooh, not that one. Create clipping mask. And create clipping mask. You know. Oh, they're all hidden. I was like, why don't I see any of it? You ever do that though, folks? I can't be the only one. You ever do that where you like, you know, you're working on something, you're like, I know it should be different. I know something different should be going on right now. I just don't know what. All right, so we're gonna do, not layers and paths. We're gonna do this. I'm also gonna come in here. Let's grab a brush. And let's grab a soft round brush. This is something I do not do very often, but we're gonna do it. I'm gonna grab a soft round brush, and I'm gonna change the blending mode of the brush to color dodge. Okay? I'm gonna change the blending mode of the brush to color dodge, and I'm gonna grab a bright color. And I'm going to color dodge right onto these layers to be like brighter, because I'm gonna throw them on a blending mode, and I would like for, I'm just tapping with my mouse, I would like for there to be like more separation. You see how that adds, you know, like a lot more texture there? Like to the edge. That looks good. That looks really good. You're starting to see it. And then with the blending mode, it's gonna be purple. So we'll do something like that. Let me make my brush smaller. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's looking good. Sorry I keep changing my voices, folks. Sorry I keep... Yeah, Voodoo Val's stream was cool, but she did like 8 voices and it sounded like 7 different guys on the stream. I don't know what that was. That was weird. It's weird, huh? There's another voice. I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead and put this on. I'm thinking... overlay? No. I hope it's not too bright to do what I wanted to do. Hold on. Hold on. Let's go back to normal. Let's start from the top. Linear burn's pretty good. I'm just gonna go down the list till I find one that I like. Oh, green? Why does it have to be purple? Why can't it be green? Difference? No, it needs to be purple. I don't like it not purple. What was that first one? Linear burn? Let's try linear burn. Honestly, that's pretty spooky. It's red, you know, it's way more red than we thought, but it's pretty spooky. I think that is cool. And then maybe we can just do one more layer and make it purple. How are we doing on time? We're doing all right. We're doing all right on time. Convert, no. Clipping mask. And let's do color. Yeah, there. That'll do it. That'll do it. We'll do a color clip. If I can make my new layer. Because it does have like the tone and everything that I really want. I don't know if I want it to be honestly. I don't know if I want it to be red. And if this was not going to be anything more than a Photoshop file, I wouldn't worry about it, but each and every one of them needs to be colored properly. Okay, overlay. No, color. Because we're gonna be adding this to Express. Clip. Color. Yeah, I like it better. It's purple. Surprise, surprise. Okay, create clipping mask and color. Okay, that's pretty cool. So this is going to be interesting as we get into actually making this. So I'm going to go ahead and just merge. I'm merging things, and I know that that's crazy, but if I was doing something different, I might make a, oops, not a group, make smart objects, but like I said, I don't really want smart objects for this because of how we're going to be working with it, and yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and merge them. So I was just selecting all of the layers I wanted to merge together and hitting Control or Command E to merge selected. So now we have all of these different files, and I am just going to go ahead and I could delete. I don't think, however, that any of the stuff that's hidden is going to show up at all in our file when we export. So I'm going to go ahead and save, and then we're just going to jump into Adobe Express real quick and see how that works. I'm just going to throw this right here. Now on the front page of Adobe Express, which is just new.express.adobe.com, you can see there's a lot of different options for you to choose from. You can, you know, they have some suggested quick actions. You have tons and tons of templates that you can go through, all the different generative features within Express that are available now. They have add-ons to explore. Really excited about these shareable brand kits, stuff like that. A lot of the 3D add-ons have been really interesting to explore, but we are going to just go start from your content. So I'm going to click this, and it is going to open up all of the weird Pedro Pascal memes I've been making. Sorry about that. And this is just a real look into the life of a designer, okay? And sometimes it just be memes, okay? So we're gonna go navigate to my folder on a different monitor so you guys can't see just how much time I waste making memes. And we are going to open Spoopy Intro. Yeah, and it shows. So hopefully, I don't think that it'll show any of those layers that were kind of unnecessary. Did I save? I saved. Didn't I? Didn't I save? Pretty. Now paint it on velvet. Yeah, I love velvet texture so much. Val, did you know you can Alt-Option click between layers to make clipping masks? I did know that, and Cody Bear has told me that too, but for some reason, I never default to that shortcut. I never do, and I need to train my brain into it, you know, because I do so many shortcuts, but that is one that whenever I'm working with clipping masks, I somehow never do it. Okay, we've converted and saved this as a new Adobe Express file in your stuff. Open to add text, images, make new pages, and more. Let's go ahead and open. Yeah, and it just has what is available visually, what was visible in the file. So that's perfect. All right, let's go ahead and let's do a little animation. Let's do a little bit of animation. You know what I'm going to do real quick? Because we're doing animation, I'm going to do a little bit of behind the scenes magic here. And I am actually going to do this on my desktop, not my Cintiq. I'm gonna do it on the main monitor, and I'm gonna do it that way because I would like for you guys to be able to see more than what we have currently showing. So let's go ahead and just throw my window capture here, and then I'm gonna come back to my stream, And I am going to, we're gonna do, yeah, there we go. So I just put it on my larger monitor so you can see more, because my Cintiq is 16 by 16 inches, and so you don't see as much of the workspace, and I'd like to have a little bit more breathing room while we get into our project here. So we're gonna do that, and I will put my stream window down here where I can see it good. Okay, I hope that's better. I think that's probably better, and we've got about 15 minutes left, so we can do this. Okay, so we've got all of our vortex layers mixed in here. I think it looks really good. I think it does look like purple textured cardboard, kind of. Thank you, Generative Fill. And what we're gonna do is start to animate these things. So let's go ahead and select a layer. Let's go into animation. This is gonna be a tricky one, because technically we have this image stops at the edge, and if we're gonna do a breathe, like undulation effect in the design, it's going to pull away from the edge of the canvas. So I think actually what we need to do is we need to resize. Let's group. Can we group? Can we group? Oh, yeah. Let's group and let's resize so that the undulation will not encroach upon the edge of the canvas, basically. Hopefully it's not going to breathe too much. So we're gonna pull all of the art away from the edge. So we are going to resize it larger so that doesn't happen. So let's go ahead and take this edge here. Let's go to animation. And let's go, we don't want it to breathe or to bungee down. We want it to, what does that look like? Looping, breathe, out. There's no out. I don't want there to be any out. Okay, let's play that. Okay, the breathe doesn't ruin the animation like I hoped it wouldn't. Let's go into edit timeline just so I can take a closer look, and let's do show layer timing. The grow in is not gonna work. Let's see, what can we do? I don't want to do spin. I don't, what, pop? Pop might do it. But I'm wondering what that's gonna look like for all of these. Let's go to this one, and let's move this up here. Also, I want to move this just a little bit longer out here. We were going to do like 10 seconds or 8 seconds. So let's start this one. This one is going to come in at a different time. Let's do pop. We're just going to do pop, looping, breathe, come to this next layer. Let's move this even farther. Where was this one? We need this one. Well, we actually want them all to come in pretty quickly, I should say. We don't want it that far. We want it to come in pretty quickly. Yeah. Let's do another pop and a breathe. Let's go to this one, and let's do another pop and breathe. And then the background is going to stay. The background's going to stay. Okay, let's see what... So we've got like this dark background. We can leave that as is. Let's see what this looks like. I kind of like that. And then we're going to have text appear right when everything is in place. So I'm going to say this is like 2 seconds in, about, where everything is like solidly in place. And then let's go ahead and say text. And in our design, we were like, okay, we want like the title. I'm just going to write spooky title. Okay. I'm not going to like go crazy. Yeah. Like beating blood vessels, kind of perfect for Halloween. Little dark, but just the background right now. Indeed, it was a little dark because, you know, the background was only showing, but now we've got everything in it and you can kind of see that tunneling. It's amazing. Miriam, I'm so glad you appreciate it. Is there spooky music in Express, like a wolf howling? Ooh, that would be a great idea. And you know what? If we had more time, we could also illustrate like clouds. Maybe we can find an element within Express to have like clouds, you know, or clouds will cover up the texture, the title. That could be cool. But let's, for now, let's just say, let's say just spooky title, because we do not have time to be precious with the context and content, you know. We just don't. We've got about maybe 10 minutes left. Let's go ahead and say fill this with, let's go custom. Let me sample this purple. I think it should be green or orange. Orange would be great. Spooky title. We are definitely going to need a better font than this. That font's just not gonna cut it, unfortunately. So let's come in and look at our fonts that we've got. That's the Pokemon theme. That's the Pokemon. I don't know if I like the O's in that. I think I'll just do a bold title. You know, just something you can see a little bit better. I think I would prefer to be able to choose like a super spooky thing, but you know, I don't want to take up too much time. I want to kind of experiment with stuff. Okay, so we've got our spooky title in. I definitely want to have let's select this and make sure that this pops up at the right time. And let's come into animation effects. And let's have this, the spooky title should probably grow like it's coming out of the vortex, right? And then I don't think we're gonna, well, maybe we will loop it. What does jitter look like? Jitter could be cool. Let's go to jitter and let's throw it down so it's not like crazy. We'll just have it moving like kind of creepy. What's the intensity? Oh, it moves a lot, a long distance. Let's not do it a long distance. Let's just have it, you know, kind of like it'll go in and then, you know. All right, let's see what this looks like. Spooky title. And then we also should do, let's use, you know what I really like to do actually is I really love using the dynamic for text, because if you hit that dynamic button, default is fine. You could do circle, arched, and all that kind of stuff, but dynamic is really great because it'll like make you a lockup essentially, which I love doing. And typically I'm like trying to lock things up, like trying to position stuff perfectly so that it's locked up, and it's never really quite to my liking. So being able to use that dynamic button is great. We also want to have, let's go ahead and we'll duplicate that. Why not? Let's take it off dynamic and go to default though. And I'm just gonna write Instagram. There's no E in Instagram. And I'm just gonna put that here because this is like my placeholder for social media. So we'll do Instagram, and then let's duplicate that, and let's do website, because that's where I would put my website. Also, let me check out the chat, make sure I'm not missing any comments. Oh, of course, it's perfect way. Wish I could control the schlop. Yeah, and be like it to be variable. Yeah. Colin Robinson font. Comic Papyrus. Listen, if you guys suggest Comic Papyrus, I'm gonna banish you to the Shadow Realm with Alex Lazarus. Okay? You'll be banished for all of time. Okay? Not banned, banished. It's much worse. There's no Wi-Fi in the banished realm. Okay? At least if you get banned, you still have Wi-Fi. In the Shadow Realm, no Wi-Fi. Okay, let's... Website is underneath, so we're gonna have it pop in just a little later. Let's preview this. So, boom, 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 boom. Spooky title, Instagram website comes in, and then everything's just kind of moving around, and it's like a subtle movement, which I think looks really cool. That bookmark bar is so cool. Thanks. It's a little bit out of whack right now because I've added some new bookmarks and I haven't organized it better, but I saw somebody years ago on Adobe Live that had all of their bookmark icons color coordinated, so I've been trying to do like an ombre across the top, and I need to kind of mess with it a little bit more, but it is one of my favorite things when I open my browser. I always enjoy your color combinations. Oh, thank you. I'm so glad. I mean, I know that I'm heavy on the purple all of the time. I really am. But I think purple is nice if you pair it well. I don't think it gets overplayed, really. Unless this whole time you guys have been like, yawn, more purple. What's next? Burnt orange? Wow, Val. Wow. Okay, so we've got our animation, we've got our title. I think it would be cool. We only have a few minutes left, unfortunately. But I think it would be cool to try. Let's go to media and let's say, maybe elements. Let's go to elements and let's say clouds. Like fog. Because it could be cool to have, like, what is this? This is like, oh, this is like a whole sunset in the back. I don't think that's what we want. But it would be really cool to have, like, clouds drifting past. Although it might take us some time to, like, really choose good clouds. I don't know. I don't think we'll have time for that. But you could, I mean, you could technically grab, like, I'll just grab this real quick just for the sake of doing this in a few minutes. But we could do this, and we can duplicate it. We'll put this one over here, and we could have this one slide in, you know, animation, drift, you know, and this one, animation, drift, that away. So then we can, you know, do a nifty thing like this. That actually looks cool. It just needs to be underneath. They just need to be underneath. All right, that is all the time I have for you folks. I'm worried that I'm gonna get cut off, actually. Maybe not cut off so soon. But yeah, that is our project. And honestly, I'm not mad about those clouds. I'm not mad about those clouds. I think that they could, you know, we could tweak that a little bit to be a little more interesting, but, you know, so if you need something to do like an intro for like a cool video that you're going to be doing for the spooky season, this is a really cool way to create like literally an MP4 that you can download, you can edit, animate, all this kind of stuff, and then use it for the beginning or the outro of your Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, anything like that if you need to add some information. And you can do this in a different size too. You could actually create a cool little animation for the intro of like your full-on YouTube videos if you want to, whatever it is that you're looking to do. But that is all the time I have for you today, and I don't want to get cut off, so I'm gonna have to take off, but I'm gonna pop over here and say goodbye to you folks. Please stay tuned because Corey Allen Hall is coming up next, followed by Annika. They've got some more spooky Halloween Express goodness coming up for you, so it's gonna be a jam-packed day of the spooks. You definitely don't want to miss it, and I will see you guys around the bend. Adios, everybody.